Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. I'm Justin. If we haven't met, I'm Justin Chamness. It's nice to meet you. And if no one's told you today, let me be the first. I like you. Okay. Thank you for being here today. I'm glad that you're stopping in to visit with me a little bit and to do a little role playing. We're all about role playing here on Wednesdays. And so I'm looking forward to role playing with you guys. We have a few people here in the room with us. Everybody has their camera off so far. They must be finishing up lunch. Our Uncle Claude, he always gives away a prize when people arrive with their cameras on, or at least he has lately. And I have not yet adopted that. I don't have any prizes to give you today, but I do want to role play with you. So it's helpful if you can turn your camera on if you're in the Zoom room. And if you're not in the Zoom room, then you need to be a part of the VIP club. Okay, that's what it's all about. All right,
I'm gonna put on my charger. I'll throw out my video.
all right, dude, that's cool. We got a bunch of people piling up in here, so thank you everybody that's joining in. We are role playing today. This is very interactive. I did get a message from Anthony. He says he can't be. He's on his job. I get that too. Okay, so thanks for popping in and giving a listen at least, Anthony. So yeah, if you could turn your camera on, that'd be great, and then we'll role play. Does anybody have anything right away that they'd like to role play? No, anybody? Anybody? Okay. All right. Everybody's got it all on lock. Or everybody's not making the calls. Which is it? You see, you tell on yourself when you don't have questions, because if you're out there swinging, you're going to be running into things you don't know how to handle. That's just how it works. That's how it's worked for me, and that's how it has worked for everybody. So, no questions today? That might be an indication that we need to pick up our activity level. Okay.
I got a
Remember,
question.
yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually I was talking with the seller. I usually call people, but I was texting, and the seller pretty much, long story short, was looking for over market, and I guess had been dealing with a wholesaler that locked up the property. Like, man, must have been like $150,000 over market value, probably in hopes of trying to find an end buyer. And then I pretty much said that with that price range, it's just unrealistic and it's not going to work. The only way we'd be able to do business at this point is if they were realistic and creative. And then at that point, they said they wanted to talk to me on the phone. So I have a phone call scheduled for later at 1 today. I don't
Great.
really know how to go about it.
Okay, great. So you've got a phone call to talk about a creative solution that you may have for them.
Correct.
Okay, great. And they've already got a bad taste in their mouth about wholesalers.
Possibly. They didn't say that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And because I was like, I'm sorry you had to go through that. And then they wanted to call me. So I'm pretty sure that is what happened. I'm assuming.
Okay, okay. I understand, I think. All right, so let's take a look here at, I'm sharing the screen. Can you guys see the formula? This is Uncle Claude's guts formula. I put it in this format myself, but this is all his material. Um, the agenda, the qualification, and the closing stage. Okay. Um, have you? How far through this conversation have you gone with them?
Not far. I'd probably want to redo the whole entire thing as soon as I hop on the phone.
Okay, okay, I understand. So we start out with the agenda. That's just how we open the conversation. So somebody give me a good example of an agenda. Okay, somebody, anybody. Ring ring. Hello, I'm the homeowner. What are you going to do? Hello? Hello?
I'll go. Hello.
Okay. All right.
Hi, is this Justin here?
Yeah, this is he.
Okay, awesome. Man, I don't know where to go from here. Hold up.
Okay.
Backtrack.
That's okay. That's why we're here, man. We're just practicing, man. No sweat. You know, it takes balls to make the calls. All right.
From here, you want to reference the previous call a little bit, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, sure. If they don't remember who you are, you know, yeah. So the roadmap is you laying out what you want to do in this conversation. That's the
Right.
first part of the agenda. And then get permission to ask questions and give permission to say no. It could be something as simple as this. Ring, ring, hello. Hey, is this Justin? Yep, this is he. Oh, well, hey, great. You remember talking to me the other day about this property at 123 Wabash Avenue? Okay, wonderful. Is this a good moment you got 2 minutes that we can visit? Okay, great. Wonderful. All right. Well, I did want to see if I could talk to you today about making an offer on that property. Is it okay if I just visit with you for a few minutes and ask a few questions? You can ask me a few. If it's not a good fit for you, hey, just tell me no. You can fire me. Is that okay? Okay, so that's basically just the foundational guts 1, 2, 3 type agenda. All right. You'll want to make it conversational. You'll want to make it energetic a little bit. Okay. You'll want to maybe do a little mirroring with them. There's some things that you can do that will help, you know, as far as sales techniques go. I guess that if we watch sales guys on YouTube, they've always got these techniques. There's some things you can do, you know, mirroring is one of them. You'll find all kinds of things, like end your statements with the up tone. You know, I try that. Actually, I find it to be quite effective. All right. But the real fundamental is just going through the roadmap, getting permission to ask questions and giving permission to say no. So in that example I just gave, where did I lay the roadmap out? What did I say that was the roadmap?
Ask you a few questions and you can fire me.
Right.
It came right before that part.
Do you mind?
When I said, do you have a few minutes? I'd like to visit with you. I'd really like to talk to you today about making an offer on this property. That was the roadmap. I'm setting the destination right away. Okay. So we're not just going to visit here. I want to talk about making an offer. I want to also ask you a few questions, let you ask me a few. Then, if it's not a good fit, I want you to be comfortable enough to tell me no. I'm a big boy, I can handle it. Okay. So the roadmap, then do the permission to ask questions, then give them permission to say no. This is just a real nice, easy way to start a conversation on the phone. It's a perfect setup for what you want to do later. But this is probably not going to naturally just flow out of your face. Okay. You're going to have to probably write down what your roadmap is. Okay. So I have a yellow, just for example here, I've got one of these yellow memo pads and I take notes on it like that only I can read. I should have been a doctor, but I missed my calling. However, I have on this pad of paper here some notes, and what it is it's an idea of how to start the conversation. So I've got a couple roadmap ideas, ways to say that, ways to tell them that I want to talk to them about making an offer. I've got a couple ideas written down about how to ask for permission to get, you know, to ask questions and, you know, so on. So I've got a couple little pointer tips here. It's not a script, but it's like pointers for me here, a little cheat sheet I've made myself. All right. And then I practice this. Okay. I practice it not just on Wednesdays in role play or not just by listening to Claude. I actually literally practice this when I'm alone in the car or when I'm like in the bathroom, in the shower, and I think about it. I'll run through because I want to be smooth with this on the phone a little bit. Okay. So You know, it makes me think of athletes. They never shine in the championship game unless they've sweated in private, right? So, you know, you got to practice a little bit in private. Here we got Claude coming in here. Okay. So, I encourage you to do that. Get a pad of paper or something and write down some cheat sheet notes here for yourself to help yourself, okay? So that you can open up the conversation, you know, with a little more confidence. One of the worst things that happens is when we come into the guts system like this, and we hear somebody that we think is pretty good at this, and we try to get on the phone then and say exactly what we heard them say, and we fumble and bumble our way through it. Has that ever happened to you or just me? Okay, yeah. So it's better to learn the formula of guts than to learn word for word what someone said. So think through how you think and how you like to talk, and take a few notes down and have some little ideas about how you like to do this part of the conversation. There's some favorite things I like to say. There's nothing wrong with that. So, you know, there's some things that I say that you'll never say. Okay. And you just wouldn't feel comfortable with it. And that's okay. But the formula is a great way to build your conversation skills. So that's the agenda. Somebody, before we move from the agenda to the next stage, somebody give me another great agenda. Just give me an example. Okay. Ring, ring. Hello. 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 Man, I hate it when people call me and then I hear people breathing, but nobody says anything. Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
I got your number here. Is this John?
Yeah, this is he.
Yeah, I don't know why I got your number. I don't know why I'm calling. Do you know why?
Nope. No, not at all.
This wouldn't be about real estate, would it?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I've got something for sale.
Oh, thank God. Cool. I was like so nervous because I'm like, I don't know why I had your number. So you got something for sale. What property do you have for sale?
123 Apple Cart Way.
123 Apple Cart Way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, now I remember. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Would you like to do some business today? I'm really interested in buying properties.
Okay. Now, are you setting the roadmap right now? Are you telling me the destination, or you're getting to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested in talking to somebody about buying this because I'm selling it. Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. You could ask me some questions, and you know, if you don't like what I have to say, just no hard feelings. All right.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
Yep. I like to be more direct about it and just say, hey, fire me. Tell me no. You know, I'm a big boy. I can handle it. All right. It will pay you great dividends later when they get wiggly and squiggly and they try to wiggle out. You can go back and say, hey, listen, man, you know, I told you could just tell me no. So is that what you're doing? I mean, you're a polite guy. I get that. You're like me. You don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but it sounds like you might just want to tell me no. Okay. So I like to be very specific and clear about it on the agenda. Just as a side note, hey, good job, man. Both of you guys. Let's do it one more time because somebody else tried to jump in there. Ring, ring. This is the agenda. Ring, ring. Hello? Hello?
Hello, is this Justin?
Yeah, this is he.
Justin, hey, I'm calling about this property that I have right in front of me. 123 Apple Lane. Is that yours?
Yeah, Apple Cart. Yeah.
Oh, Apple Card. Okay, great.
Yep.
Hey, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about it, and maybe you can ask me some? And I'm trying to see if we can do something today. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So once we take a look at this and everything looks good, if there's any questions about it, and I just want to let you know up front, you know, if you don't like what I have to offer, you can always fire me. That's not a problem. Is it okay with you?
Yeah, that's cool with me. You know, Alex sounds like a real person. You know, like he's got the balls to make the calls. He's stepping out here in front of everybody. Okay. So it takes a lot of eggs to do that. So he stepped out here. He did the agenda. Now, when he's on the phone with a homeowner, what's the homeowner going to be thinking? Well, you know, Alex, we make a lot of judgments. Okay, everybody is prejudiced to a certain extent, right? As soon as Alex starts talking, we start prejudging, right? All right, so we're thinking about Alex. Okay, first of all, what's this guy? Okay, no, he wants to talk about the house. Okay, he wants to make an offer. Sounds like maybe talk about it at least, or maybe. Okay, he sounds like just a normal guy. He sounds like a real person. Okay, see, we don't have to be as smooth as we think Claude is, or some other people. We just have to be ourselves and just put ourselves out there and follow the formula. I think you did great, Alex. I think you
Thanks.
did great, dude. I think everybody did great. Everybody did really good. So that's the agenda, but let's move forward a little bit. And just as not a side note, but I do want to throw in here that it's not listed on this sheet that I made, but oftentimes, not every time, but after we do the agenda, before we go into the qualification stage, what happens sometimes? Somebody tell me, what do you think? Anybody have any ideas? What happens sometimes after the agenda?
Do we waste time with things
Well, you can.
before qualifying?
That might be something that you do. You end up talking about the weather and sports and kids and this and that. Okay, that could be one thing that you might want to X out. But what else typically happens that the seller or the homeowner does?
Presentation mode.
Sometimes the homeowner will go right into presentation mode. Absolutely. Yep. What's another thing that happens?
Are you a realtor?
Okay, now they start having questions. Okay, what else happens here? It's kind of along the lines of questions.
They start asking questions first.
They start jumping on questions real quick, and they start telling or they go into presenter mode and they start talking about how lovely their home is and all the wonderful work that they've put into it and all this, and they try to take over right away. Another thing they do here is they throw objections here. Sometimes. Let me give you an example. And this might be one that you hear today, Alex. I believe it was Alex I was talking to. When you call that homeowner, they've already got a bad taste in their mouth, possibly about a wholesaler, and you get through the agenda and they say something because you've told them, hey, at the beginning, like this, for example, ring, ring, hello, hey, I'm Justin. Yep, I'm an investor and I saw your property online. I wanted to call you today and ask you a few questions, maybe see if I could make an offer on this property today. Is that something that we can talk about doing? Great. Hey, if you want to ask me a few questions too, that's wonderful. And if it's not a good fit, fire me. Tell me no. Is that cool? Okay. I do that right there. And then all of a sudden, the homeowner speaks up and he says, you're an investor. You're not one of them wholesalers, are you? Because I am absolutely sick of wholesalers calling me every single day. Okay. Uh-oh. What do we do now? We haven't but barely gotten started. And now we have an objection already? What does the amateur do? What does the amateur do right here?
Defense.
He loses
defensive.
he loses it, man. Right? But what about the defensive mode Ed's talking about? What are you talking about, Ed?
Yeah, you start defending yourself instead of moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about how to make a smooth transition from the agenda to the qualification stage. Let's talk about that. Let's role play that for a minute, right? How do we do that? How do we go from the agenda to the qualification stage and not let the homeowner run away with presenter mode themselves, and also not let them throw questions that control the conversation all of a sudden? What's the fix for those things?
Question to a question.
Boom, 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 boom. Don't slow down, right? Don't stop. The universe despises a void. Think about this. Take a can of cream corn, okay? Whatever you like. Eat it for dinner tonight. Then take the can, wash it up, clean it up, tear the label off. Now you got an aluminum can. It's all clean. No rough edges on the top to hurt anybody. Now I want you to set that in there in your living room on the coffee table or on the side table. Start the timer, because there will end up some stuff in that can. If it ain't you, it'll be the wife or the kids starts throwing quarters in it, or ink pens, or paper clips. The universe despises voids. And when that principle applies right here in this conversation, because if you create a void between the agenda and the qualification stage, or a void in any of these sections, or between these questions that we're going to ask in the qualification stage, if you allow a big void right there, they're just like thinking of something they can say to take up the void because it's uncomfortable. Right?
So you're saying if you don't fill the void, they will.
Oh, absolutely. Every single time. Yeah. So you got to go from the agenda right to the qualification stage. It should sound something similar to this. Hey, if it's not a good fit for you, you can just fire me. You can tell me no. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, great. Let me ask you the first question. Why? Boom, boom. I'm right into it. Okay. If I'm not right into it, I'm taking a risk, especially right here. Especially right here. This will cut out a lot of the presenter sellers from doing their presenting, and it will also cut out a lot of those initial stalls and let me ask you a question instead of you asking me a question. Are you a realtor? Are you? They're going to squeeze one in every now and then. What do you do if they squeeze one in?
Thank you for asking that question.
That's a great question. I loved it. I wish everybody asked that, because you sound like an intelligent person that wants to know who they're working with. And believe me, I respect the heck out of that. So the answer to that is no, I'm not. Okay. So whatever the truth is for you in that scenario, but yeah, they'll squeeze one in occasionally. You'll have to be quick about it. All right. So let's move forward real quick. Does anybody have any questions so far about anything we've discussed thus far? All right. And I appreciate you guys that are role playing with me today, that are stepping out there. Like, it does take balls to make the calls. That's what I say. All right. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are the folks that are going to get better. All right. You only get better by practicing. So let's go back to the screen share. And let me see, did I have anybody that was trying to get in here? Yes, they're joining in. Okay, great. All right, so stage 2, we've moved to stage 2. Another thought here is Uncle Claude teaches us to not do more than 3 minutes in these 2 stages combined. You can't lollygag around in conversation too awful much. Allow for uncomfortable pauses and all of that, and hit that 3-minute timer mark. I've tried it, guys. There's no way. If you're going to hit the 3-minute timer mark, you're going to have to be more like Bruce Lee with no wasted motions. That's going to take some practice. That's going to take practice. Yeah. So that's why I practice, because I want to get black belt level at that, right? I want to be able to get these people qualified or disqualified like within 3 minutes every single time without losing the control right here in between the agenda and the qualification stage. All right, enough about that. Let's talk about how to ask these questions. And first of all, before we do that, before we role play these 4 questions, the why, the money, the timing, and the commitment, why are we asking these 4 questions? Let's know why we're asking them before we're asking them. Why are we asking these 4 questions? The why, the money, the timing, and the commitment. Anybody?
The why gives you more information. The more you understand, the better your offer can be.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to add to that? Come on, it's open forum, guys and gals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's for to help you close the deal.
What do you mean? Help me close the deal. How?
Well, if you know, if you understand why and you understand what kind of money they're looking for, when they need to close the deal, when they need to, get to escrow and sell the property, and whether or not they're the decision maker, and they have the authority to make that, it'll help you understand, the situation, help you close the deal a little bit better. You can, it'll move you right into the closing step.
I agree, Lou. I agree.
The
Anybody have
barometer.
anything else to add to that?
The barometer.
A
Pardon me, the
barometer?
barometer determine how motivated they are, what kind of character they are,
Yeah.
what the possibility is.
Yeah.
Needs and greeds.
Find out the needs and greeds. Okay. What do you mean by that?
What do they need to do? Are they moving? Are they having a divorce? What do they want out of it? How flexible can they be?
I mean, I 100% agree with you. Great answers, everyone. But why do I need to know that? Why couldn't I just make an offer like a shot in the dark? Why couldn't I just say, "Hey, Mr. Homeowner, you said you was open to something creative, so here you go. Lease option, 36 months. Boom, do it, do it. Come on, do it, do it." Why doesn't that work? Or does it?
You need emotion. You need to build the emotion.
Yeah. I'll tell you why it doesn't work well, that's the real fundamental reason Anthony just said, but it doesn't work also in the real world because most of these homeowners would love to have cash. So you got to talk to them about that first usually, and then after that, then you can talk about creative. Like, here's why I can't give you full price for your busted ass house. But I can give you full price or close to it if you're willing to do something creative with me. Is that something we can talk? Okay, so now that's in the closing stage we're doing. Okay, but we're talking about qualifications. So we're getting these answers to these 4 questions. These are the 4 things that you need to know to determine motivation. Excuse me. I have students that ask me all the time, well, when do you talk about the house and like the repairs and like whatever else it may need, or if it's pretty, or the 5 systems, you talk about the big 5 systems in every property, and when do you talk about all that? Who cares? It's not important. It's not important. We talk about that later, like when we're actually trying to put an offer together, right? Because we don't even know what we want to offer or what they want us to offer until we find out why. Money, timing, commitment, right? If you're making offers without spending the bulk of your 3 minutes in these 4 questions, then you're making shots in the dark. And that's why you're getting told no a lot and ghosted a lot. And that's also why people will tell you, yeah, send me the agreement. And then that's the last time you ever hear from them. Because your offer did not hit the mark. But you didn't know why. That's because the qualification stage was weak, very weak. In most cases, in most of the students that I work with, the qualification stage is puny. Puny. Okay, so let's beef it up a little today. All right, I'm excited about this. Let's beef it up. Now, let's go through and role play some ideas on how we can ask these questions. Okay, and that's why we're not asking these questions. That's why we're puny in the qualification stage, because we don't have our yellow notepads out and we haven't written down a few ideas on how to ask why, on how to ask the money question, the timing question, the commitment question. So let's talk about how we can ask the question, the first question. We go right from the agenda right into the first question, why? And I will tell you that I like to do it like this. Okay. It could be as basic as this. Why do you want to sell? It could be as basic as that, but here's how I like to do it. Mr. Homeowner, how long have you lived in that property, and why would you be wanting to sell it today? Now, you might write that down just as a something to build off of. Okay. But that's That's how I like to say it most of the time, but I do also say it other ways. Does anyone else have another idea on how to ask the why question? If we don't have any formulated kind of in our mind beforehand, are we really going to come up with it on the fly in the heat of the battle? Probably not. So that's why we're trying to load your gun here a little bit. All right, so why? How do we ask the why? Somebody, anybody, how do we ask the why question?
Why not just keep the property? Looks nice, like a nice house.
I love it. I love the negative redirection too. Why not just keep the property? It looks like a nice house. I like it. Might write that one down. Might write that one down. What's another good one?
Sometimes I just say, what type of time frame are we looking at?
Okay, so you're kind of jumping into the timing question first, Rick?
A little bit, because I just sometimes just to kind of see where they're at. Say, man, I got to move right now. I got job transfer and I got to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can see how that works. Yeah. Might write that down. That's a good one. Anybody else have one?
I usually ask, is the property an investment property, or did you used to live in this property?
I love that one, Corey. I was just about to share that one too. You stole my thunder, man.
Damn.
Good job. Yeah, I love that one. Hey, I say it like this one. See, I'm a real estate investor, like I explained earlier, like actually literally like 15 seconds ago in the conversation. Then I'll say, and so I'm looking for an investment property. Is this a rental? I found a new way I like to say it last night. Okay. Hey, this looks like, this looks like something I want. I'm looking for an investment property. This looks like a rental. And I had to say it like that. You got to say it like that. This looks like a rental. Is it? Okay. What does that do when I say it like that?
It elicits whether or not they want to rent it out or not.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get right down to the bottom of this. Yeah. Oh, no. The guy I said that to last night, just exactly like that. He said this. He said, well, it was, but it's been vacant now for 6 months. Man, talk about getting right to the pain point right off the bat. That's it. I followed that up just so you know. I followed that up in the conversation by saying this. Wow, I'm an investor landlord myself, and if I had a vacant property sitting for 6 months, I'd be bleeding to death. I bonded with him, and then he said, "Well, I was, but now I'm in foreclosure."
Right to the bottom.
Okay, dude, we have pulled back all the layers of the onion, man. We're getting right down to the heart of it. Okay, he's in forbearance, turns out, which is delaying the foreclosure. So he's not quite in foreclosure, but he will be if something doesn't happen. So look how important it became for me to get in and just being a little bit skillful at asking these why questions, what that can really do to your conversations. Okay. Instead of you guys and gals and myself pitching these people the whole way through and being nervous and then getting a big no at the end, it is so much more fun to ask a great few couple pointed questions and watch them like being at Outback Steakhouse, like the blooming onion. It just comes out all hot and ready, It's got that sauce. Yeah, what's up, Dave?
The other direction of that question is if he did have renters in it and he wasn't in foreclosure, now how good of a renter are they? You might have a property that already has a built-in renter for you.
Yeah, there's lots of possibilities. And the biggest thing is I found out his motivation. The pain points that will build a motivation level for me for him. and you guys can see on this on the chart that I made here of Claude's guts system. It's the motivational level 1 through 10. This guy's definitely up here in the high end. There's no way I could know that if I'm not asking these questions right. So what's another way we can ask the why question? You guys might write that last one down too, about the rental. Is this a rental? This looks like a rental. I love telling them that. This looks like a rental. I'm putting it down a little bit, just a little. Okay, so anybody else got a why? How can we ask the why? We're role playing here, so interactive. It takes balls to make the call. So step out here and just, if you think you got one, you might have the next biggest thing. Who knows?
You'd ask, why hasn't it sold yet?
I love that. I love that, Anthony. That's great. Why hasn't it sold? That's wonderful. Yeah, it's a super good one. Here's another one I like sometimes. What's most important in the buyer that you're looking to sell to? What's the most important qualities? I think that's a good one. No, sometimes that works. I like that one with, I know this is going to sound, you guys are going to put me in a box here and stone me, but I like that one with female prospects. Okay. What's most important in the buyer that you're looking for, first of all? Let me ask that. Okay. A lot of times they'll just start opening up on things, tell you a whole big story. Okay, here's another one I use a lot. I wrote this stuff down. If you could get everything, you got to say it like that. If you could get everything you wanted from my offer today, what would my offer need to include? Boom. Okay. That's more for like your hard driving male engineer. You know what I mean? All right. So you might write some of those ideas down and just kind of practice with some of these concepts, come up with some of your own. Okay. Again, because copying anyone it's hard to do. So just put it in your own way, in your own words. I say a lot of things that sound extremely hillbilly and country, but I'm from Kentucky. It's hard not to. Here's another one I like to say sometimes. What's wrong with the property? Why you want to leave? Okay. Now that I worded that specifically that way. It has a negative connotation to it. What's wrong with the property? Why you want to leave? Okay. If there's no reason, I'm going to find out right away. But if there is a reason, I'm probably going to find out right away why these people want out. Okay. All right. So just some ideas. Anybody else with another idea before we go on to the money question? I don't want to forget about bonding. Okay. We need to throw a rose at bonding here. Very important. And asking follow-up questions. All right. So when we start getting into the why and people start talking to us, usually they don't give us the right answer the first time. That's very important. Okay. Very important. What do I mean? When I ask the why question the first time, what do I usually hear?
They're trying to portray no problems. They're just going to sell it, no, and then you have to kind of pry in there.
Everything's wonderful. Yeah, so, we got this under control and it's great. And here's what we're going to do. And I know I can blah, blah, blah.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
And it kind of touches on what you had said earlier about the negative connotation and just asking them why they're looking to move. Have you ever gotten because the opposite of that would get them to not be what I'm trying to say is, do you get a defensive response when saying that? You're like, what's wrong with the property? Do you get somebody that's like, nothing's wrong with the property? Matter if they talk up their property when in reality it's probably not that nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things you'll hear. There's a lot of crazy people out there, Alex. I mean, a lot of people who think their property is worth $100,000 more than it actually is, and that it's beautiful. It's the Taj Mahal of homes. It's the Sistine Chapel. it's just unrealistic, and there's nothing you can do with those people. You'll find out how motivated they are, which is not very motivated usually at all. Okay. Motivated people have been forced to face reality. That's facts. That's facts. If you don't believe me, just watch that show Intervention on TV. Right? Motivated people have been forced to face reality. Okay? Those people who are not in reality, they're not motivated either. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. All right. So
what I meant was like going, and I hear you though, going positive, wouldn't you get possibly a negative response out of that?
yeah, but I don't care.
You're like,
I don't personally care. Yeah.
I got
I
you.
don't. It's not on me. The burden of proof is not on me of how wonderful their home is or what it's worth or what repairs it needs. That's not the burden that I suffer from. That's the
I got
burden
you.
they suffer from. So my perspective as a buyer is that this is a piece of shit until you prove otherwise. It's not worth anything. It's not even worth more than 3 minutes of my time unless you have something worth me hearing about.
Very good.
So
point.
if you want to get negative, I don't care. All right. I'm looking for an emotional touch here too. And a negative emotion is yet still an emotion. All right. It's telling a story now. Once you start getting people into any emotion, they're telling you a tale. You better listen. You know what I mean? All right. I hope you do. Okay. So here's the point I want to make too, is that when you ask the first why question, they always give you some surface level sports news weather type response. You're going to have to ask more than one why question most of the time. Okay. Uncle Claude says it like this: get 3 needs or greeds, right? Or 5. What does he say? You need to have. Okay. Well, you're not going to get those by asking one question, right? So you're going to have some notes so that you have some follow-up questions to refer to until you just get real experience with this. Because you're going to have to, if you just got one why question, you're just going to get the sports news weather version of them, and then you're going to miss the mark again. Okay. That's how that works from my experience. All right. So let's move on to the money question. Let's talk about money. Why would we want to talk about money, and why would we want to talk about it right now? We got 20 minutes left in our role play. Let's get moving, huh? Money. Why are we talking about money?
Money's the big motivator.
Money's a huge motivator.
Yeah.
People get emotional about money, don't they? Whoo.
Number one.
I watch a lot of murder, crime porn, like, you know what I mean, on TV, like A&E, reality crime shows. And, it's almost 100% of the time about one or two things, love or money. People get emotional about money, don't they? We're going to ask you the why question, which is a tough question. Then you're going to give us a surface level answer, Mr. Homeowner. Then I'm going to ask you another why question. And then you're going to open up a little bit more. And then I'm going to ask you a third why question. We're going to get to the real why you want to sell. And then I'm going to ask you another emotionally loaded question about money. Man, this is smart. Uncle Claude, hey, man, great job. Super smart. All right, so how do we ask the money question? How do we ask a heavily loaded money question? Heavily loaded. It's probably not the right thing, but how do we ask the money question? Somebody help me out.
Mr. Homeowner, I'm an investor, and I'm gonna tell you that up front. I make a little something, so I put mac and cheese on the table for myself and the family. So I work one of two ways. I either need price or I need terms.
Okay, so you're kind of combining a little bit of closing there with the money question. So I mean, yeah, if you're comfortable with that in the conversation, that's fine. That's a way you could definitely do it. Does anybody else have a more maybe fundamental way, a real rudimentary way of just asking the money question?
This is a Claude ripoff. Mr. Prospect, if I could take the property off your hands, do you mind if we get right to the point, talk about money before we get into the details?
I love it. I love it. I love it. You're setting him up, man. Setting him up for a slam dunk. Okay, who else has one? How do we ask the money question? Here's how I like to ask it. What are you asking for the place? And what do you think it's worth? I ask them both at the same time. What are you asking for it? And what is it worth? Okay, I'm going to find out right now if they think that they're getting full market value or beyond. Okay, that's going to tell me a lot about this person's motivation level. Okay. All right. Anybody else have a way to ask the money question? We might need to ask this one a time or two in a different way or two. So let's cut the pie in a different direction here. What's a different way we can ask the money question?
How did you arrive at that figure? Did you happen to get it professionally appraised?
I like that. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Write that one down, everybody. Yeah, that's a good one. Anybody else have one?
What's
How much
the
do you need
ballpark range you're looking to stay within on this?
What is the ballpark range? Listen to the words. What is the ballpark range? What is he doing there? Masterfully. What's he doing there?
Getting them to speak, but not cornering them on an exact number.
The minimum, he's getting the minimum.
The lows and the
So-
highs.
He's setting him up. He's setting him up to not get full asking price. Yeah, definitely. Right. The low and the high range. So we're not talking about something up here. We're talking about something maybe down here too. Psychologically huge. I love it. Love it. Love it. Ed, that was good. What about this one? Hey, Alan, give us the Brinks truck question. You got the Brinks truck question. I learned this one from Alan here.
Love it.
Imagine for a moment we were to come to your driveway in an armored truck full of cash. How much would you expect to have in it in order for us to exchange keys today?
Today. Okay, listen to the words. Today, right? What's he saying? You like that one? Give me some feedback on that one. I like that one,
Love
Alan.
it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love it too.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I love it too.
Golden.
It's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. Any other ways? That's
If
all
I
the
was
ones
to make an offer you would be pleased with, what would that offer look like?
I like it. Okay. Let's get into the money question. All right, going once and twice. Anybody else? Money question.
Sometimes I might say like, okay, let's cut to the chase, get down to what do you really need to get on at this house, to take care of your business. Because sometimes, people kind of stress out that, oh, I gotta, sell this house so I can buy another house. So I get right to the chase. Well, what's that number you need so you can take care of your business?
I like it. Suave, man. Smooth as silk.
What price can you live with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Corey, I like using this. I'm looking to do something today. What do you really need?
Right. That's it right there.
Oh, woo-hoo-hoo.
That's
What
it.
do you really need? Home run. Wow. Write that one down. Woo. Man, you guys have got some heavy hits here today. Man,
These are
you
some
do.
notes that I've written down along the way. I'm stealing the best I can.
Yeah, man. It's that
Yeah.
call lab in the morning and the nights, man.
Yeah.
I learned from the greats.
You guys are sweet. Anybody else? Real quick, money. I'm glad we kept the money question open for a minute because, man, those were some nice hits. Anything else?
Anchor price and when they won't give you the price. I saw this low price, don't say low price, whatever the price is selling in the area. Is that what you're looking for?
Okay. I like it. Let's go on to the timing question. How do we ask the timing question? Here's how I like to ask the timing question. Mr. Homeowner, I'm kind of in a hurry to buy something as quickly as today. You're probably not in that much of a hurry, though, are you? That's how I like to ask it. How do you like to ask it? Your turn. Nobody has a timing question? Nobody has a different timing question.
If you wanted to move forward, what time frame are you looking at?
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, Ed. This isn't something you want to do today, is it? That's another real easy way of saying it. This is, I like Uncle Claude says it like this. This is something you want to do next year, though, right? Next month, next year. This isn't something we want to talk about doing today. Takes it negative. I love the negative here. The negative in this qualification stage just by far works way better than the positive. I swear it does. If you just go negative with all of these questions, you'll learn so much more. I don't know why that is, but they just talk more and you'll get right to the heart of the matter more. It's something psychological about humans. But let's come up with another timing question or two. Let's do some timing questions. Here's another one. When would you need to be out of the home and when would you want to close up? What do you think of that one? That's a double question. When would you need to be out of the home and when would you want to close up? When would you need, listen to the words, when would you need to be out of the home and when would you want to close up? Okay. If you wanted to move forward with my offer today, how much time will you need to consider things? I don't like this one. I don't like this one, but it's a pretty good one. What do you think? If you wanted to move forward with my offer today, how much time will you need to consider things? Give me your opinions. Give me your opinions.
Well, if he gives you a time, you could quickly say that doesn't work.
Yeah. See, this one is kind of a positive one that elicits a negative response a lot. See, that's why I don't like it. But, you might have the homeowner coming back at you like that saying, well, I'll need to, talk about it with my wife and my kids and my, whatever.
Yeah, it leaves too much space open for them to grow.
It's that void.
Yeah, that question creates a void, right? So, and yes, we can overcome those objections. There are ways to overcome those yet still, but if I can avoid the objection, I will. So that I don't like that one so much. I really like the one I use a lot is I'm in kind of a hurry to buy something as quickly as today. You're probably not in such a hurry, are you? Okay, that's what I like. That's just my country boy way of saying it. Yeah. Let's move on. Anybody with one more timing one? Anything with timing? Okay, going once. Going twice. Is it odd that I'm counting down for timing to expire? Okay, let's talk about commitment. Commitment. That's the fourth and big final question that is a real strong indication of motivation level. Yep.
Quick question, taking a step back. When you're talking about the money and the price, do you ever ask, how did you determine that price? Do you have any comps in the area, other properties like yours? Do you ever bring that up?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I like to ask it like this, what are you asking for the property and what do you think it's worth? And then I always have a follow-up question is so you think it's worth $149,900? Okay, where did you come up with that number? Do you have some comparable sales that a realtor gave you or you don't? A buddy from the gym told, okay. See, this I'm learning a lot here, right? But those are follow-up questions that I have to ask to get into that, Dave. because I can't get all that information with just one question most of the time. That's what I found. So, you know, we don't talk about this enough amongst ourselves here in the Guts Club, but really we ought to have 2 or 3 or 4 questions for each of those stages, the why, the money, commitment, timing. We ought to have 3 or 4 in our pocket ready to go, because sometimes they don't come forth. And when they don't come forth, what do you got to do if you don't have another question lined up? If you ask one why question, they give you some surface level BS answer. What do you do if you don't have another one lined up?
Dead air.
Well,
voice.
Typically we just move forward to the next question, the money question. And then we ask one question there, and then they give us some BS answer, and then we move to the next timing question. And we get through the qualification stage. Yes. Okay, you did it. You went through the qualification stage, but we kind of skipped on the surface like a rock on a pond. You know what I mean? Have you ever, we didn't really get deep at all with any of that. We just kind of got the surface level answers. You know, so that's where we fail a lot in the closing stage is, well, 2 reasons is, one is we're talking to people who are on the 1 through 5 of the motivation level of 1 through 10, they're 1 through 5. And so we're talking to the wrong people. That's what I call a C lead. But if we're talking to the right people, that's a 6 through 10 over here. A lot of times we'll fail in the closing section because we only skimmed over these 4. We didn't dive deep. We didn't ask follow-up questions that got real answers. Yeah. Did you know the good book says that every man is a liar? I believe that. Okay. Every man's a liar. And I can prove it practically. I mean, really, just think about it. If I were having a conversation with you and you were the homeowner, and you first time you ever talked to me started about 2 minutes ago when we got on the phone, and I'm asking you the why question. Yeah, how long have you lived in the place, and why would you want to sell it now? What are you going to tell me? Are you going to open up and share everything that's going on with you in this house? No. You're going to lie your ass off. Right? So you got to have follow-up questions. It's like Zombie Land. It's a double tap. Okay? Every time. Because the one tap don't kill it. You got to double tap it at least. Okay? All right. So it's Zombie Land. All right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, get that movie. All right. So how can we ask this commitment question? This is a big one. We got 5 minutes left on this call. We got to break down this commitment question. How do we ask the commitment question?
I could satisfy your needs comfortably in the time frame you're looking for. Can we move forward today, or would you rather say no right now?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a commitment. What's another way of asking a commitment question?
Mr. Seller, assuming that I can satisfy, and you as well, that we are who we say we are, and that we can satisfy all of the needs here. And I get this paperwork over to you, let's say in the next hour or so. Can we go ahead and move forward and complete this agreement and put it all to bed by 5 p.m.? Is that too soon for you? That's not something you'd want to do. Get it wrapped up today, is it?
I like it. He's going right for the close. You know, hey, are you committed enough to set something up with me before 5 o'clock today? I love it. What's another way? Here's one that I like to use, just straight right to the point. Hey, who makes the decisions about this? Oh, I make the decisions. I'm the decision maker. Remember when President Bush Jr. said that? He said he was the chief decision maker. That's funny. Anyway, yeah. So I like to just ask that sometimes. What's another way? Who else will you be making this decision with?
Yeah.
See, we kind of need to know some of this stuff too, because they're going to pull out that card later. Oh, wait a minute. I can't do it today. I got to talk to so-and-so. Woo, woo, woo. And off they run. Okay, so you got to get to the bottom of that right now. Now, in the commitment stage. Otherwise, in the closing stage, they'll be like, well, I like what you're saying, Sonny, but I'm not going to be able to do it until I talk to my priest and my buddy I play golf with on Friday. They're gone. They're gone.
Justin, how does your family go about making decisions?
Beautiful. 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 Yep. Okay. Any other way we can ask the commitment question?
In the event that we could provide a solution to your situation, is there anyone else that we would need to get on the phone to get the green light on it?
Yeah. I like to say it exactly like that, except I use a little different wording, Alan, and I'll say, who else needs to weigh in on this? Right? Yeah. All right. So after that, we should be able to determine a motivation of 1 through 10. Yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you cover the who else in the agenda at all?
Cover what else in the agenda?
The who else could be involved. Is there anybody else that you don't cover that in the agenda ahead of time, so you cut that off before it becomes an issue?
I don't. No.
Okay.
Because this whole conversation is going to take me 3 minutes or less. And so if I get down to the very last of the 3 minutes in the commitment question and the guy says, well, my wife really is a big decision maker. Wonderful. When can you and I and her all be together on the phone later today? Let's say 4 o'clock. Will she be available then? Okay. So I don't mind doing that 3 minutes over again when she gets on the phone. And I will. Okay. Because 3 minutes of basic conversation is not a big deal. All right. So I don't know. I don't know. That's how I play it. Maybe other people do it differently, but yeah, you should know 1 through 10. If it's a 1 through 5, what do we do? On a motivation scale, 1 through 5, what do we do?
Schedule them for future check back.
Not if you're me.
Well, I mean, you don't have to make an appointment with them, but you can make a list if you want to see where they are 36 to 90 days.
Disqualified.
I fire them.
Yeah, fire them.
If it's a 1 through 5, you're fired.
Oh, 1 through 5, maybe. Yeah.
If it's a 6 through 10, they become one of 2 different things for me. Either an A lead, which is someone I'm going to try to put an offer together and close like today, or a B lead, which is a follow-up lead. I put them as a B in my beehive. And oh, my beehive makes honey. And I want a lot of bees. I want more bees in my beehive. I sure do, but I do like those A's. All right. So, Alex, today, when you get through that part of the conversation, you'll know how motivated these people are. If they are, then you just need to recap a little bit of their situation so that they understand that you understand. And then you just need to ask this question. Okay, great. So, would you consider something creative with me? And if so, if they say yes, if so, then here's what I need to do. I need to do a little research. I need to get my numbers together. I need to get my paperwork together. And I might even have another question or 2, but I'd like to get you an offer today by 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever is convenient. Buy yourself some time. Okay. And at 9 o'clock tonight, when you call them, before you get off the phone, you're going to say this: hey, Mr. Homeowner, When I call you tonight at 9 o'clock, I'll have sent you my agreement. And I'll call you at 9 o'clock tonight. At 9 o'clock tonight, you're not going to break my heart, are you? Okay? That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
All right. Now, if they're pretty easy to work with and they're a high motivation and they're interested in something creative, Alex, and you need to put together a creative offer, you got yourself some time to do that. And then you can get it over to them later and work through the agreement with them and help them sign it. That's all you really need to do at that stage. So yeah, man. Congratulations on making progress, dude. You know, it's a lot to learn, I know. And it changes you as you learn it. So it's kind of a life experience. Real estate is for me, at least. So, man, I'm your biggest fan today.
I appreciate that.
Does anybody have any questions about anything that we've talked about today, or maybe anything else that I can handle or help with, possibly real quickly before we go?
I got a quick one.
Okay. What's up, Ben?
I've got thank you. I got some leads on people who have clearly filled out a form, Instagram or Facebook. You know, they're old, and they tell me, you know, they tell me no, they didn't fill it out. They never inquired. They don't, you know, no such event occurred. So they're just trying to get me off the phone. They've already heard from 10 other people. Does that make sense? How do I
So
say, I know you know, without getting, shitty with them, saying, I know you've spoken to 10 other people, and you're just trying to get me off the phone, but.
Yeah. So, I call old leads a lot just because I find them to be pretty lucrative. Old leads are. I can't really speak to the quality of the lead that you're talking about, however. So I don't really know, it might just even be a bot that did it. It could be nowadays a bot that filled in their email address and hit go. Who knows? So at any rate, I like to call them and act like I've never talked to them ever before in my whole life. Okay. Never a text, never, even though I got them off text, which is how I do it. I got them off text a month ago. I never texted them back. They never texted me. I'm going to call them today. I'm acting like I never even, this is the first time I ever saw them was today.
Brand new day.
Yep. And here's what I like to say, Ben, and you can change this to fit you, because wives work, spouses work, brothers work real well, partners in general work. But I say, my mama told me to call you. My mama knows that I buy houses, and she told me to call you. I don't have any idea where she got your name or number. But do you have something you'd like to sell today? That's all you got to do. That's it. That's what I do, at least.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. All right. I don't know why I'm throwing in mama or sister.
You calling my mama a liar?
Yeah. See, I think throwing the mama in there softens the blow a little. It's not like I'm just some crazy person or stalker or a business person trying to stalk you down and find out what's up. I'm just a guy. My mama told me to call you, and okay. Well, I've had them say this. Well, who's your mom? Oh, here's my response. Oh, well, you probably don't know her. She's in her 80s and she has Alzheimer's, but she finds properties for me in various places sometimes and shares them with me. And this is one I thought that I would maybe be interested in. So I'd give you a call. That's if I got an address to work with. But I just give them some bullshit story, man. Nobody really cares. They don't care about your mom or how old she is or nothing, man. They just want to, do what they want to do. If they got something to sell, remember what's in it for them. That's always what's in their mind is what's in it for me. So if you start talking about anything other than, hey, I buy houses, do you have one you'd like to sell? You got 6 seconds and they're lost.
But hey, you still got that problem. What problem?
I wouldn't say it that way, because see, that put them on a defensive, They put them on the defensive. You still have a problem. Yeah.
Am I too late? Can I help you out?
I like to say it like this. Hey, I got a property address here. I buy houses just like this one, but I bet it's already sold, isn't it? If it's
Okay.
not, see, then now we're cooking with grease.
Mhm.
Okay. Yep.
Cool.
All right. Anybody else real quick? Good role plays today. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. I made you work hard today. I made you work harder than you normally have to work on Wednesdays, but I'm going to be back on Wednesdays a little more frequently, and
All right.
I'm going to make you guys work. I mean,
How's,
work.
how's Victor doing?
Victor's doing good.
Okay.
Victor's doing good. Yeah. I don't know what he's up to right now, but yeah, he's fine. I stay in touch with him, and last time I talked to him was yesterday.
Okay.
Seemed fine. Yeah, seemed fine to me. All right, guys. Love you. If nothing else,
Appreciate it, Justin.
I'll see you later.
Yes,
Okay?
All right, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
you
guys.
guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.